Tennessee Titans fans, it is that time of the week where we hop on Reddit and see what Titans fans are saying about the state of the organization. And we're going to start on the Twotton Talks Reddit page where we have quite a few posts today, probably the most ever for this segment on the Twotton Talks Reddit page. If you've never been over there, go join that community. There's a link to it in the video description below, and your post on the Twotton Talks Reddit page will get featured on this segment. You can guarantee that, but we're going to get a couple from the Tennessee Titans Reddit page as well. But let's look at some of these from Twotton Talks Reddit page. This one says, we're going 9-8. It's official. And as you can see, they lay it out there. Got us starting the season 2-2, which would be a huge success. Losing to the Cardinals, beating the Raiders, losing to the Patriots, and so on and so forth. I will just say this, in terms of the entire schedule, if the Titans go 9-8, I don't know if that gets them in the playoffs or not, but that's a success. If the Titans go 9-8, as Titans fans, we need to throw a party. A winning record, of course, if you go 9-8, sometimes that gets you in the playoffs. Sometimes it doesn't, especially in the AFC. But if you go 9-8, I mean, everything's going overwhelmingly in the right direction. So I hope you are right. 9-8 would be a beautiful thing. This user says Cam versus Shador. This has been on my mind for a while, and I think I figured out the biggest difference between Cam and Shador. Well, let me just stop right there before I even read the rest. I'll tell you the difference. One is that one was the number one pick of the draft, and one was picked in the 5th round. You may not realize that if you've only been watching ESPN. I know they tend to act like it's the opposite, but no, Cam Ward was the number one draft pick, and Shador Sanders was a 5th rounder. Cam played at 3 different colleges, and at each one, he elevated the players around him, making the schools as relevant as he could. Shador, on the other hand, while he was a decent QB, there's a lot of speculation that he wouldn't have even been the starter if not for his dad. I never heard anything about him elevating his team, and honestly, if Travis Hunter is as good as they say, it makes me wonder how good Shador really is. Cam, on the other hand, didn't have a generational talent. In fact, Cam's number one receiver didn't even get drafted. That's a good point as well. I will say, I think Shador is a talented guy. I think that I'm not going to say he only got the job because his dad is the coach, but I definitely think it helped him. I think that what we saw was that NFL teams did not think as highly of him as Mel Kiper did. And I think you have a good point that, Cam Ward elevated everywhere he went. He elevated his team. And as you said, his number one receiver didn't even get drafted. Shador's number one receiver was the number 2 overall pick in the draft. So, yeah, I think that is a difference. I think that the biggest difference for me is that, and this is not a knock on Shador. I mean, it's different strokes for different folks. But Cam's all ball. He's all ball. All he wants to talk about is ball. All he wants to do is play ball. Whereas Shador, he is a persona. Doesn't mean he's not good. Doesn't mean he can't be good. But he's a persona. He's got a brand, and he's got that Sanders name attached to him. And I think that's a key difference in the two of them as well. This user says, looking for jerseys. I was trying to search the internet for Titans jerseys that were cheap. I was looking at DHgate and was wondering if anyone had a good seller vendor, and if they could tell me, please. I would be extremely appreciated trying to get the Cam Ward jersey. First of all, the Cam Ward jerseys are astronomically expensive. I've gotten one jersey from DHgate before. It was a Kevin Byard jersey, and it's not bad at all. You can put it up beside the actual official jerseys that I've gotten off NFL Shop. You can tell the difference. But if you didn't hold them up side by side, you wouldn't be able to tell. The one downside that I have found with DHgate is that it takes forever to get here. If you order it now, you might get it by football season. But, I mean, look, it's a lot cheaper. So, I mean, that's kind of the trade-off. This user talking about Cam Ward's rookie contract, what he would like to see. For this season, try and be a competitive team, make a run at a wild card spot if possible. Next year, get some vets, make a run at a wild card spot, make some noise in the playoffs. Then in the 27 season, first season of the new stadium, go after stars, spend some money, go win the division, make a run to the AFC title game. The 28 season, Hopefully the Super Bowl will be in Nashville. If it is, make a run and go all the way to win the Super Bowl. And then in the 29th season, final season of Ward's rookie contract, extend him if he's shown he's worth the extension. Hopefully go back-to-back Super Bowls and champs. What do you guys think? Listen, I'll be ecstatic if that happens. That sounds like a good timeline to me. I hope from your mouth to God's ears. I hope, please, Lord. This is an interesting one right here from the Twotton Talk page. This user said, do we want Callahan to save his job? There's been a lot of talk recently about how many wins does Callahan need to save his job. I haven't heard much conversation about if we want Callahan to remain head coach. My general impressions of him are positive. He appears honest, genuine, and loves football. He certainly inherited a bad roster, but he isn't blameless in being the worst team in the league last year. I think he will improve as both a head coach and play caller this year, and I think he has what it takes to be successful long term. What do you guys think? Is Callahan the long-term guy, or nah? I hope so. I certainly hope he figures it out. In terms of the question, do we want Brian Callahan to be the guy for the job? Yes, overwhelmingly. I don't want to have Cam Ward learning a new offense going into his second year in the league. And that's why one of the main reasons why I hope Brian Callahan figures it out, because I want that consistency. I want that continuity for Cam Ward after this year. And also, like, if he's not the guy, that means another miserable season this year and then another head coaching search next year. And it feels like we can't ever really get started on the rebuild because we're constantly having to start over. So I want Brian Callahan to figure it out. I do agree with this user. I think Brian Callahan is a smart guy that loves football, but I will also say his first year as a head coach was a fail. It was a complete failure. Is it all on him? No, but part of it is. A significant part of it is. I think he left a lot to be desired. But you have to remember, first-year head coach, sometimes it's like being a first-year player. You got to work out the kinks. You got to figure out what works. You got to figure out what doesn't work. And Brian Callahan was trying to figure that out with a quarterback that wasn't playing well and an offensive line that wasn't playing well and, various other players in different spots that weren't playing well and a bad roster. So hopefully in year two, Brian Callahan can turn things around and start to do a better job. I think he's at least on the warm seat going into the season. And I hope he's, able to prove that he deserves to stay, because I don't want to be starting over again, and I want him to do a good job so that he can be the head coach of the future. Jumping over to the Tennessee Titans page, this user said, what is the greatest playoff victory in Titans history? I mean, listen, it's the summertime. These are the kind of discussions we have to pass the time, right? To get through the summer, to get to the football season. For me, obviously the picture there was from the Music City Miracle. I mean, obviously, that's the most memorable. I think that the AFC title game that year to get to the Super Bowl was a big one. In recent memory, I mean, that run in 2019, beating the Ravens in that divisional round game was just an out-of-body experience. I couldn't even believe what I was watching. But beating the Patriots the week before, ending the dynasty. I mean, don't get any bigger than that, except for the Super Bowl. I would probably say that Ravens one, just because we were such underdogs on the road against a team that was seen as Super Bowl bound pretty much. I would say that one in recent memory, but most people would probably still say the Music City Miracle. So this is an interesting one. This person said top 5 favorite and least favorite Titans media members, and they listed theirs. I'm not necessarily going to get into my least favorites, although I will say one of this user's least favorites, one of those 5, I have already blocked like a year ago, and I haven't seen any of their posts because I just couldn't take it. As far as I will list some that I like. I like Tyler Rowland, Locked on Titans podcast. I watch his stuff a lot. A lot of people are kind of ragging him on here because of his presence on Twitter or X or whatever. But I like Tyler. He's come on the podcast before. Had a great conversation with him about the Titans, and I think that he's passionate about the team. Feel the same way about Sal on the Sick podcast. Sal from Jersey on X, man. As he said stuff I don't agree with, sure, but I mean, I don't question his love or passion for the Titans at all. he loves this team. Tehran, just fantastic. I've always, and I actually had the opportunity to have him on the pod too before I even met him on here. Always, Jim Wyatt. I mean, Jim Wyatt's kind of the standard bearer. I mean, just class all the way. He's been doing it a long time. I'm trying to get him on the pod soon. Who was the other one? Titans Rossi in the Titan Upload Network. Just the nicest guy. And I mean, again, I don't know how anybody couldn't like him. I don't know how you could look at him and be like, I don't like that guy. He's just such a nice guy. I shouldn't have started naming people. I like Easton Freeze. Paul Kaharski, I understand the gripes that people have about him, but sometimes I feel like his attitude is kind of necessary. Kayla Anderson, I think, is great. I like a lot of them. There's a few that I just kind of stay away from. Like I said, there's one in particular that I blocked a long time ago. But yeah, I appreciate any of them that have come on the pod. I mean, that means a lot to me. Well, we got one more. That's the one we just looked at. I just wanted to end with this right here, folks. No comment necessary. I just want to say, I'll zoom in a little bit. Look at that, man. Come on, dude. You got to be the guy. Come on. I'm looking at you, number one. You got to be the guy. You got to be the one we've been waiting on, all right? Come on now. Come on. Tighten up, everybody.